We're here this morning with a group of tractors that came from the Milford Ashworth collection out in Colorado. He's sent them here for our Pre-30 auction, and he is a case man. He's dyed-in-the-wool case guy and has put together a really great collection of early case tractors, which we're going to show you a few of them. Most people don't know they associate case tractors with orange, the flambeau orange they called it, or flambeau red. But when case tractors originally came out, they were green. This is a 1020 case, which is a different styled tractor. As you can see, it's a three-wheel tractor. The big challenge with the 1020 case is finding a nice one. They were really not a particularly well-built tractor. They kind of had a different design, so if they were used at all, they got pretty rough pretty quick. So it's really difficult to find one that's in good condition, that's pretty complete. You know, one of the most unique things with the 1020 is when you were positioned in the driver's seat and driving it, you couldn't see where the front wheel was, which caused some obvious problems. So they actually put a directional arrow on top so that the driver could see which way the wheel was going. Uses a 4-cylinder engine. Like I say, it's a very different design. They did have some problems with these tractors tipping over, so it wasn't. It was an early design that probably looked good on paper, but wasn't quite as good once they got it out into the field. Now this was the smallest tractor of that case line. Then they moved up to a 1225, which we've got here, this is kind of one of my, I'm fond of these tractors because they've got a 2-cylinder opposed engine in them. And I've always just liked the sound of a 2-cylinder opposed. Once in a while they'll call these the coffin tractor because whenever the hoods are closed down, it kind of looks like a big coffin. These came out in about 1913, I believe, and were produced up to about 1918. Pretty low production tractor. I think there were only a little over 3,000, 3,300, something like that of these tractors made, which makes them pretty darn hard to find. Of the early case line, which also includes a 2040, which we're going to see here in just a little bit. Milford had one of those in his collection. The 3060 was the largest tractor of this line, but after that, the 1225 is definitely the hardest one to find. Just a nice size tractor. That 2-cylinder opposed engine makes it unique. It makes it sound unique. Handles pretty good. They're a beautiful tractor. They've got a big factory scene of the case factory on the tractor, which I always thought was pretty neat. And again, it's hard to find one of these in good shape. This is really a nice tractor. Milford did a great job restoring it. It's an older restoration, but he was pretty adamant about making sure his tractors were field ready, and he used them and started them up. Dave Hudson, our master mechanic, he's brought them into the shop here this morning to kind of go over them and make sure they're serviced well, and didn't have any trouble getting all these started up. They've been in Milford's museum out in Colorado for several years, and they're going to be here at the Pre-30 auction. So he's got a cross motor over here that we're gonna walk over and look at. Hey, here's a great tractor that came in as well. This is a 612 Alice. That it probably conservatively had not been started up for 30 or 40 years, and Dave tinkered on it a little bit and cast his spell and got it started up, and actually runs great. It's got a little Leroy engine in it, but we'll tell you more about that later. This is the cross motor series. So the cross motor series came after that first series of the 1020, 1225, 2040, and 3060. This is a 1527, so this would be kind of a middle-sized cross motor. This still utilizes the green paint. Later, they went to gray. All the cross motor cases after this, the next series, they were gray and actually used the old battleship paint, surplus battleship paint. I like this earlier series of cross motors just because I kind of like the paint scheme on them. This is really a super nice 1527 because it's kind of optioned out. It's got the fender extensions on it. It's got a canopy, and it's in nice shape. As with any of these older tractors, it's hard to find one that isn't wore out, you know. So whenever you do find a good one, you can kind of appreciate it. One of the weaknesses in these cross motor cases were the manifold. They've got a massive manifold on it, and it's very, very difficult to find one that is really nice, that has not had some sort of repair over the years. This manifold's had been repaired in a couple places over the years. There's a lot of cross motor case tractors out there where the manifold has just kind of fell apart and it does not have a manifold. And it's an expensive process to go out and find one of those. They do make some reproduction manifolds, but most of the time you're left to repair what you got. This also has the air cleaner on it, which is a tough piece to find. So these are three of the smaller tractors that came from the Milford Ashworth collection. We've got the big 2040 outside. All of these tractors are going to be available on the Pre-30 auction, along with a big collection of pre-1930 tractors, engines, parts, cars, you name it. If it's pre-1930, we're going to have it at the auction. Hope to see you there. It'll be a great time.